call to order the council meeting and ask the audience member to please be seated. Let the roll call show that all members of the council are here, and this week it's Councilmember Karen Lang's turn for our opening ceremony. Councilmember?
I have asked troop number 646 to perform our flag ceremony. So I'll turn the time over to them.
Code guard attention. May the artist please rise. Forward march.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I don't think they're going to stay for our meeting, so I'll just let you know that the school thereby is Valley Crest and Westlake Junior High. And they're in my neighborhood, and I appreciate their flag ceremony. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming, Scouts.
Thank you.
We have the approval of our minutes to consider, February 28th and March 6th.
Move for approval?
Second.
Thank you, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Mr. Bueller, would you like to read the proclamation on our behalf, please?
I would, thank you, Mayor. A proclamation declaring March 21st, 2012 as Kick Butts Day 2012 in West Valley City. Whereas nationwide nearly 1/5 of all high school students grades 9 through 12 are current smokers, and whereas 19.7% of adults in West Valley West and 23.9% of adults in West Valley East use tobacco, and whereas 1 out of 3 youth smokers will ultimately die prematurely from smoking-related diseases unless current trends are reversed, and whereas smoking kills more than 400,000 Americans each year, representing more deaths than from AIDS, alcohol, car accidents, murders, suicides, drugs, and fires combined, and whereas most of these deaths could be prevented. Whereas Kick Butts Day is an annual national initiative sponsored by the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids that makes elementary, middle, and high school student leaders in the fight, makes the students leaders in the fight against youth tobacco use and exposure to secondhand smoke. And whereas the children of West Valley City, Utah will no longer tolerate efforts to manipulate them into buying lethal and addictive products through advertising campaigns and marketing practices. And whereas the Mayor and City Council of West Valley City wish to stand up with the children of our city in opposition to the sale, advertising, and marketing of tobacco products to children. Now therefore, we the Mayor and City Council of West Valley City do hereby proclaim that March 21st, 2012 is hereby declared Kick Butts Day 2012 in West Valley City, Utah.
Thank you, Councilman. So you heard it here first, Kick Butts Day, West Valley City. We come to item 7, our comment period, and my understanding is no one signed up to speak today. If anyone knows differently, please whistle. I hear no whistles. So we go on to item 8, which is our public hearing. This is to consider ordinance 12-10. Mr. Pyle, if you could please introduce that, and then we'll open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for consideration of a final plat approval for the VRE Gates subdivision. And the purpose for this is amending the park. We're talking about lots 4 through 7 of Plat A of the subdivision, and the purpose for consolidating and reconfiguring these lots is to facilitate the development on that project.
Okay, thank you. I now open the public hearing regarding ordinance 12-10. Did anyone come to speak on that matter tonight? Anyone? I close the public hearing and turn it over to the council for their discretion. Anyone like to speak
I
to
would
this?
move for approval of Resolution 12-10, Ordinance 12-10, excuse me.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye. That passes. We have some resolutions to consider tonight. Mr. Pyle, 1231.
Thank you, sir. Oftentimes, as we do construction or improvement projects in conjunction with UDOT, especially as it includes beautification type improvements, they often require us to do the maintenance on those improvements after they're completed. In the course of those negotiations, often they will require a landscape plan and agreement before bidding the actual landscape construction, and that is the case here. We have a project at the interchange at I-215 and 3500 South where landscaping is going to be installed, and UDOT wants to have that interlocal agreement in place with us before the construction is done.
Great, thank you. Council, any discussion or motions on Resolution 12-31?
I approve Resolution 12-31.
Okay, we have a motion to approve
I'll second.
and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approval, say aye. That also passes. Mr. Pyle, if you could,
Mayor, to
yes.
interrupt you, it seems it might be appropriate to suspend our rules and have the scout troop introduce themselves. I guess if there's no objections to that.
Any objections to suspending the rules for a special recognition? Okay. We'll jump back to item 4 briefly for special recognitions. We always love it when scouts come to visit us. And our tradition in these chambers is we invite one of the boy leaders to come up to the microphone and tell us the name of your troop, what school you live by, just so we know where you are, and what badge you're working on tonight. Are there any leaders who'd like to step forward? Here's one.
Hello, we're Troop 269, and the school we live by is Burley Meadows Elementary, and our badge that we're working on is citizenship and community in our community.
Great, well done. Thank you and welcome. We'll now return to our resolutions. Resolution 1232, Mr. Pyle.
Thank you, Mayor. This proposed resolution is a delay agreement with Mr. Hugo Cortez. He owns property at 1596 West Warnock Avenue, and the delay agreement contemplates construction of curb, gutter, and sidewalk improvements that have not been done there as of yet and won't be done until a determined time in the future when a larger project is being completed.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I would move approval of Resolution 1233, the delay agreement with Mr.
Excuse me, which one was that?
1232, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving 1232, say aye.
Aye.
That one also passes. For the sake of our friends, the Scouts, we also meet each Tuesday at 4:30 in a study session where we go through all of the next week's agenda items and hear presentations and other reports. And so if we move kind of quickly on these, it's not because we don't care and we're being flippant, but we've had at least 1 week prior discussion on every item here tonight. But you probably won't complain if it's a shorter meeting anyway, right? All right, 1233, Mr. Pyle.
Thank you, sir. We are looking for approval for a right-of-way easement in favor of Rocky Mountain Power. As we are constructing the new Westridge Golf Course, there are improvements that are being made up there that require new utility lines being run. This is one of those. We're building an irrigation pump building on the west side of the project, and this easement is for the purpose of allowing Rocky Mountain Power access to install underground electrical lines that will go to that pump station.
Thank you. Council?
Move for approval of Resolution 12-33.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of approving 1233, say aye.
Aye.
That also passes. Let's go to 1234.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution is also associated with that same project at Westridge, the building of the irrigation pump building. but contemplates a public utility easement over portions of that property. This will ease the access for any utilities that need to be put into that project, including the Rocky Mountain Power improvements.
Okay, thank you. Council?
I'll move for approval of 1234.
Second.
Thank you both. Any discussion there?
Just a comment, if you haven't driven up on 64 and about that address, 49th South, and looked over the construction of the golf course, they are in the process of installing a waterfall right there right now, and it's going to be amazing.
Good to know. I'll have to check it out. All right, all in favor of approving 1234 to help that great project move forward, say aye.
Aye.
That also passes. Our last resolution tonight, 1235.
Thanks, Mayor. This project would grant the city access to a parcel of Rocky Mountain Power's property located at 5200 West and 4100 South. Rocky Mountain Power is doing improvements to their property at the substation there, including landscaping and beautification and piping improvements. They are actually installing the landscaping and wall improvements that are going on there right now. We are actually going to install the piping and cover the irrigation ditches there, and then Rocky Mountain Power will reimburse us for the cost of that. So this allows us access and construction easement to that property to do that project.
Okay, any questions or motion there?
Go for it, Corey.
Mayor, I move we approve Resolution 1235.
Second,
Thank you both. Any discussion?
it's Corey's backyard.
That's right.
Well, I'd say be careful as you work on this, not to have stuff flush downstream into the existing pipeline.
We all live downstream, some more literally than others. All right, all in favor of 1235, say aye.
Aye.
That also passes. Any need for executive session tonight?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay, then I will adjourn the city council portion of our evening and turn the time over to Don Christensen, the chair of our redevelopment agency, for that portion of our evening.
I'd like to call to order the redevelopment agency. Note that roll call has been taken and all are present, and we've had our opening ceremony. Resolutions, Mr. Pyle.
Thank you, sir. We have one resolution tonight. It has to do with the engineering contract for our work over at Fairborn Station. And as you know, there are a lot of components to this, a couple of which are currently under construction, the hotel project and the promenade project, and actually a third, which is the plaza project there, where the bus hub and the mass transit hub is. That's all facilitating needing facilitation for some improvements to the street and utility work in that area, and we have engineering work that's going on right now for that purpose. This has been, it's not an unknown quantity that we're having change orders to this project. We've known since we got underway construction-wise last year that these were going to be coming up along the way, and this is one of those. We have a contract increase that we would like to do change order-wise for the engineering contract with Great Basin Engineering for the amount of $29,200, which will increase the overall contract to a total of $132,000.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll move for approval of 1206.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just have a couple of questions about the project in general, not this specific, but I'm just wondering, is the project on schedule, ahead of schedule, behind schedule?
The projects are on schedule. The hotel, for example, which we toured this morning, myself and some of the staff, we've been blessed with some favorable weather in the winter in order to get that going. You'll remember that last fall when we got started, due to some financing issues and trying to get that all wrapped up in the midst of the turmoil that was going on last summer, we actually got started later than we wanted to. So we started out kind of behind the eight ball on that one. We've made up that time. There is one component of that we're waiting on that's a little bit behind time right now. I think it's the steel delivery, but that's scheduled, and we're also gradually making up that time as well. But as you look at the hotel project, for example, you'll see that the deck of what will be the second floor is actually out there right now. The whole footprint of the building as it will exist, I think, is poured at this point. Promenade is on schedule. We have done some modifications to that have to do with requests as the design process has progressed along for the ICO residential portion of that, but that's moving right along as well and is on time. And then so is the plaza as well. So we've actually been, we're in good shape as far as schedule goes.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of resolution 12-06?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Anything further?
No, sir.
We'll adjourn. Thank you.